Can
to
I
make
let the
money out of
others
it.
in? Because I
Yeah, of
think that,
course.
Fiona,
Yeah.
is it okay if I, without going into details, but I shared where the conversation we were having
Of
started
course,
from?
yeah, I'm only
Yeah,
putting it.
yeah.
So we combine, what was it that you said? A life? I can't remember.
Who?
That was 3.5 seconds ago. I can't remember.
I've already forgot what we were talking about. Good morning, everyone.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Existential crisis. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, that.
That is good. Oh, there's many
There's
today.
loads. Wow.
Good.
Oh.
That's good. That is great. Some of you messaged me just before. I apologize for the dog. I am dog sitting today and he's snoring like crazy.
Can't hear him, but I must say, G, your surroundings look beautiful.
Totally fake though, but that's okay. A couple of you messaged me asking for the recording of the webinars that we did 2 weeks ago and last week. I will reply to you as soon as we're done with this and send you the links to the recording. We're going to wait another minute or two for the others to join. I'm just gonna go through the boring bit, which is the reason why we're here and where the conversation started. So today we're not going to focus on the quick fix mechanics of how do I run an ad, how do I write an ad, or anything like that. We want to focus a little bit more on the deeper stuff that goes into not just photography, but running. The deeper stuff that goes, that helps you run the business in the long terms, and that hopefully we can go back to, so that in the long term, you can get away from just marketing about prices and offers, and this is what's included with the session and so on. The conversation and the idea for this started, I was having a call with one of my clients, a coaching call, and we were talking about wall art and confidence in sales and having sales conversation with people in general, with clients. And I said, why? And she said, I'm not confident enough. I don't feel confident about selling wall art for these prices, and I don't want to push people and so on. And so I asked the question, why are you selling wall art? Why is it important to buy wall art? And a few other questions that led to the final conversation that was, well, why should clients choose you then? And I'm skipping a few steps here because I will ask you all to answer those questions today. Or we will, because hopefully I'm not going to be the one doing most of the talking. But the confidence for me in any aspects of the business and the enjoying the business comes from knowing why you're doing it and knowing why your clients should choose you. Not why everybody should choose you over someone else, but why the ideal clients, and we'll talk about this in a moment, what that means to me, should choose you versus anyone else, regardless of the price and the pricing. This, I think we can go now because we can get started. Not go away, but get started. This worked wonderfully because we got the conversation. We jumped on this call this morning with Fiona and Madia, and I asked Fiona how she was, and she said she's having an existential crisis. So that works perfectly. Fiona, do you want to explain a little bit, and then I'll try to make sense of everything that we need to to add to that?
Yeah, so for the past 8 months, I have always trained, I've always had a mentor for both photography and business. That to me is important for context. And for the past kind of almost a year, I've been working with an amazing photographer just to try and work out some things that I've got in my head. And he posed a question to me the last time we spoke, and it was, what do you love about photography? And I came away with some generic nonsense about craft and light or something. I can't even remember what I said. It was so generic. And he's like, that's not a love of photography. And he said why he loved photography. And I'm like, I don't think I like photography. So I've sat with that for, it'll be exactly a month. I was due to have a call with him on Monday. Sat with that for exactly a month. And that's where the existential crisis come in, because you kind of think to yourself, how can you run a photography business without without a love of photography? Don't get me wrong, I love what I do, but it's primarily the dealing with people and the business side of it. So Maddie thinks it's a good thing. I'm not quite convinced yet.
I would say 99% of the times when I ask people why they are a photographer, they don't know. They don't know why, beyond the I started and then it became a thing. So in my head, the conversation today goes in parallel. There's two aspects. The number one is, or the one layer of it is the knowing why, and the knowing why people should choose you, and why you are doing this beyond it happened, is what helps you going through tougher times without losing your mind. And I genuinely believe if you run a business for longer than 45 seconds, there will be tough times, good times, bad times, and everything. So you have to be able to go back to that. But the knowing why is also really what helps you understand why people should choose you versus someone else. And why you can go into a conversation feeling confident about what you're selling, why you're selling it, why for this much, and market yourself that way. This is, in my opinion, the only way to move away from just marketing based on pricing and what's included with the session and how much it is. It's long term, but that's how you do it, in my opinion and experience, really, across industries. So, Maddie, do you want to add something? Otherwise, we can.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I said that I think that Fiona has had this epiphany is a good thing, is because knowledge is power. And if you know something, whether it's good or bad, then that gives you the opportunity to deal with it. Otherwise, it sits there festering unknown, and it might actually influence your entire ethos and how you feel about your business. But the fact that you know that means you can use it. And that exactly plays into what G said about, if you know why you love why you do what you do, then it was also knowledge that you can then use. So for me, I do it because I love taking photos of baby. I love creating the art with a baby. I also happen to love babies. So the two things work beautifully because I'm creative. I suffer the business side of it because you can't run a business without it. But when I'm then dealing with my clients, the love of what I do fuels my passion, which then rubs off on them. So my passion seeps out of me and makes them passionate about what I'm doing. Okay. So the fact that I know that I'm passionate about it means that I can use that and instill that in my clients. I can make them love it. And that means that when I'm then saying selling wall art, I'm going, look at it. And I mean it. So knowing that that's where my passion lies means that that's a tool that I have.
That is the very first time that I saw you. I don't even remember if it was live streaming or training in person. I don't even know if I've seen you, but the moment that I saw you, I thought that's the impression I had. And I think when people are that passionate about something, it just, you cannot, they are irresistible, because it's like you can, when you see somebody that's so passionate and the energy is irresistible. And so the other aspects, or the technicalities, or the mechanics of the conversation you're having don't really matter. It's
Yeah. Yeah. So going back to the whole thing about what you were saying to that photographer about they don't sell wall art because they don't want to sell. I don't sell in the conventional sense. I just say, why wouldn't you look at the photo? Why wouldn't you put that on your wall? So, you know, I'm not selling £1,000 piece of wall art or whatever. I'm selling the passion and telling them how they can hold on, and why that should matter to them, and why why would they not want to put that on their wall, etc. You know, so it's a way of using how I feel about it to persuade them to spend the money ultimately, which is the ultimate goal.
100%. And I think that is that passion, and that this is a conversation we had before, Maddie, the craft, the knowing the craft is also where the confidence comes from, because you believe that thing that you're saying, beyond the fact that the pricing is this, then this is it's an acrylics versus whatever. You believe that thing. The way that I explained it to this client was, I believe when I get somebody in the coaching, when I allow somebody, I believe that I am the best person to help them. That doesn't mean that I am the best marketing person or advertising person that's ever existed, but I 100% believe that we as a team will be the best that person can get when we work together. And I will make sure.
I feel that way with a one-to-one. Like when I trained Bella recently, for not the first time either, it was because she was stuck on the confidence to move up her posing to do things like Froggy and other bits. And I said, I will make you do it. I will get you doing it. And I believe I can do it. I believe in my ability to get the best from her. And I hope that the reason that my training is successful with so many photographers, those who choose to take on board what I say anyway, is because I think that passion does come through, because I know that I can train you, and I know that I can get you doing things that you didn't think you could do. But if I didn't feel I was a good trainer, then I would be rubbish at it, because you're always going to hold something back and you're never really going to show what you can do.
That doesn't mean, by the way, we're going to take it to the next step now. That doesn't mean that you never question yourself. No. I spend 50% of my day questioning that certainty, but if you do it with confidence, then, as I said to Maddie, there's two things. If you question yourself, the answer is, no, this is bullshit. Just forget about these thoughts that you're having, or actually this specific thing I'm not good enough at, so I need to do something about it. The questioning yourself, but then staying in a place of fear because you're not confident and you question yourself, you do nothing about it, it drives people insane, and it doesn't allow for growth.
Yeah, nothing changes if you sit in your comfort zone.
So I would like now to take things to the next step, which is, what does it mean? What can we do with this conversation? And this is, I'm going to give you all 5 minutes, I would say. It's probably going to be 6, and I'll try to shut up during the 5 or 6 minutes, which is very difficult. To write down 3 reasons why your clients should choose you versus another photographer. 3 reasons, doesn't have to be long sentences. I would like you to write that down and then we're going to share the answer 5 minutes from now. Bella, now I'm a bit jealous though. You only mentioned Maddie.
Ouch.
Right. That's my confidence gone. Is the question clear, first of all? If it isn't, put it in the chat and say, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's maybe clear, but it's a tough one.
It's very tough. Very
I'm
tough.
glad. It's tough.
It's barely 10 o'clock on a Wednesday morning, Julia, and you've got us thinking.
Good. Oh, see, someone left. It was too tough.
I'm out.
I like the brave ones with the work come on. If anybody is ready to write, put it in the chat. Why should clients choose you? We have 2 minutes left. Maddie, you're done writing.
Well, it's kind of up here, but it's really tough, actually.
It's when to take it beyond the platitudes that
Yes.
you normally give. It is really tough.
Yeah, you have to expand on the obvious because I mean, you're providing a service that we all provide. So the things that we can tell a client,
I love
be there's a lot of crossover there.
There is between me and another photographer down the road. I've got my own opinions on this, which I'll come to. But the differences are very subtle. You know,
Yeah.
We're all artists, and we all know in our moments of confidence, we know how good we are.
Yeah.
That's when you're comparing yourself with your competition. You're like, oh, I'm better than them.
Yeah. And also we can all claim to be passionate about some aspect of it.
Yeah.
So is it enough to say that? And if it's not, how do you translate that? So
this takes us this 1 minute left, but for those of you struggling, don't worry, because there is hope. We're gonna try and answer. If you haven't been able to answer the question, then we'll get there. So the second question to me would be, Fiona, it would be, why you do what you do? Why are you a photographer? What is that you love about what you do?
That's a different question, Julia.
Okay, let's start from this one. What do you love about photography then?
None.
We've just established that with Fiona.
The reason I said
So no, that's actually that is the wrong question. What do you like about your job? Not necessarily about the photography part, the technical side of it. What do you love about your job?
Cuddling babies.
Whatever.
Creating the art for me. The taking of the photo and the editing and the creating the finished image.
If you're able to write this down as well for the others, so what do you like about your job in general? Then I'll go through some of the answers. But like, yeah, I understand that.
Some good answers.
Alan is about to bark. Don't get scared. I think. No, just dreaming. All good. Yeah, Rachel is my dog, yeah.
Good old Alan.
Is he your dog or are you his human?
Definitely the second. Definitely the second. Okay, these are good answers. I'm going to give time. Yeah, keep typing. Fiona said she hasn't written it in the chat, but I think you said the connection with people.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think we both, for me, obviously different job, but that is true for me as well. So I'm looking at the answers to the first step, and I would say I love dancing. She said three reasons why clients should choose me. I'm passionate and care about my craft. I want to serve them, please them, make them happy, exceed the expectation, and they will love the photos. I love that. I love that because I think it's a mix of the personal side of it and the fact that they will love the photos. My styling, especially with props, and my passion. For me, my experience, empathy, and authenticity. I'm passionate about empowering women, good at making people okay. Good service is important. Yep. They will get outstanding quality photos, many years of experience, personal boutique experience. Okay, this is interesting. So for those of you who haven't shared, but if your answers were along the lines of they get the experience, so you focus on that, the experience that they get in the studio, your experience and the quality of the images, I don't think that makes you different. Disagree with me in the sense that the real competition that you have is very likely offering those things as well. And so it's good that you have them for sure, but to me it's like a standard these days. What I was saying during our previous webinars was typically when an industry is booming in the beginning, all you need to do to achieve results is, get bookings or sales or whatever, is to exist. I'm sure Maddie can confirm this. In the beginning, it's like, I'm here, and people contact you to get bookings.
Yeah,
Then
that was it. Yeah.
Then as things progress and the original and the starters of that industry become trainers, then the difference is there is part of the industry that is the professionals, made of professional experience, quality, all of that. And then there's another part of the industry who isn't able to offer that quality or that experience. And so those are things that you can market, that you can use to market yourself. You're better than the others, or you offer a better experience than the other. Where the industry is right now, though, the reality is you are surrounded by photographers who can offer relatively similar quality, relatively similar experience for a similar price. So, and as I always say, it's not like people or your competitors on the website write, my experience is not great, but I'm £50 cheaper. Everybody says that. So it just doesn't make a difference. You cannot have a conversation with or market yourself using those as selling points, not consistently, because that is only making you different from the ones who aren't trained, who aren't offering that type of experience, for possibly a tenth of the price. So there's no, your clients are probably not considering them anyway. So if you've written down the three reasons why people should work with you are all about the experience, the quality, and so on, we need to try and work on one that is a little different, and that is a little more, that, in my opinion, has more to do with the human side of things. While I read the rest, Maddie and Fiona, do you want to add anything to this?
Yeah, I think it's the reason that you could pick 20 random newborn photographer across probably the world. Look at their websites and they'll all say those three things. Is because it's very difficult to think of something else when you're all doing the same job, right? I think for me, it's just living it. If you live it and show it, then in time, it permeates out. So it's almost like you don't need to write it down. It becomes a living, breathing thing that people get from you. It's like you said, there's that energy, right? So from day one of doing this, turning up at my first freebie's house and going, I don't know what I'm doing, but can I practice on your baby? Now doing it the way I do it, the fact that I love it shines through, and I don't need to talk about that really. It's probably on the website in some trite manner, but it's not relevant. Yes, and the fact that I've been doing it for 16 years is probably also on the website, but nobody cares about that. It's difficult to separate the fact that your clients, especially in this day and age, are spending a lot longer choosing their photographer. They're being a lot more discerning. They're looking for price and all the rest of it. It's very difficult to override that with what really matters and what we really want them to book us for. And for me, it's just book me because I'm me and nobody else is me, and nobody else cares about it as much as I do.
Good. That is a brilliant point. And this is going to get me started on a rant, which is, I believe that the idea that we could all market ourselves and make the difference by positioning ourselves as the luxury experience and market the idea client has caused what we are seeing now,
Yeah.
which is people don't know why a client should choose you. and we think luxury is enough. There are some people, and I don't mean to offend anybody here, that market themselves as the luxury experience, and they are not that type of person. I'm not somebody, I couldn't market myself as luxury at hand, because that's not me. I'm raw. I have got the passion. I'm different. And sometimes I see this huge mismatch between luxury at hand and then what the photographer really is about, that is damaging them and causes frustration. So to me, I would love to go back to the roots of this whole conversation, saying I do what I do because whatever the reason is, but I am passionate about that so much that
There's one word, isn't there? There's one word: authenticity.
Yeah,
just be you.
100%.
Just be authentic.
100%. I think what I was saying to Fiona is, I don't even think it's not even that you have to love the technical side of photography or the photographing people or the marketing in my case. You could bypass that and say, I love the connection with people. And photography is what the universe put on my path that is allowing me to connect with people. And I'm using that, but it's a mean to connect with them. Rachel mentioned something about the empowering women and so on. That is your tool. Photography is your tool to help them achieve that. Now, with newborns, it might be a little more challenging, I think, because empowering someone you see there and then. But so, and we're about to talk about that. So if we talk about the passion that you put into your job and the care and everything, then the reason why your clients choose you, just in your head, not in words, is that you care about them more than anybody else could. Is that true? Or somebody else might, but if you go with that confidence into the conversation, they will feel it.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter if it's true or not. It doesn't matter if you are actually the best one. You just have to believe it, and your clients will buy into that.
And also, you have to believe it. Yes, you have to have that confidence of saying, I care so much about what I do and about the trust that this person has given me when they booked with me, that I will make it work. It will be the best experience that they can have, and they will get the best pictures at the end of the process that they could have gotten. I don't think it's a matter of fake it until you make it. It's a matter of, I care so much about you, client, and about what I do, that it will be the best, because I will do my best, everything I can and a lot more to make it the best. Is every session going to be that way? Maybe someday you're going to wake up and be like, but it's the overall feeling should be that.
Yeah, we almost need to shake off the habit of going experience, passion, and all the other stuff. You know, that mantra. We always need to shake it off and strip it back and talk another language. Talk another language.
We absolutely do. We've had a generation of trainers that have come from erstwhile countries around the world that have made it really complicated, when actually the only difference between me, Maddie, Adina, anybody that's on here, the only significant difference is that Maddie's no me and I'm no Maddie. And we can say all the words that we've said here, and this is the messaging that you portray. So it's your words spoken in your voice, and if you do that, people will come to you. That's why you have your friends. And by overcomplicating it, by making it really difficult, and this is why I work with Julia, because then she takes what I see as black and white, is that it's me. How does that then be portrayed over a one-dimensional platform that is Facebook? But that me being me will attract clients, it'll repel clients, and that's absolutely how it should be, because I don't want to work with people that don't want to work with me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm me.
Yeah, you don't want all the clients. You
No,
want
no.
your clients.
You
Yeah.
cannot have them, and this is if you put all of these things together, this is why there is so much overthinking that I see from so many when it comes to how do I reply to an inquiry. I never in my life had a script or anything, even when I was working in the studio, never had one for my discovery calls or anything, because I don't need it. I can go, and same is Maddie, she can go into a conversation with someone and talk for 7 hours about what she does without a script. And because that passion comes across so clearly, it will be a yes or a no. And you will not be stuck always into this maybe I'm gonna book with you, maybe not. It's not that simple. But again, we're talking long term. If you never think about these things, you never get there.
Yeah.
And when it comes to, this is my view though, in terms of newborn photography and so on. I'm going to use this story, and then Maddie, Fiona, if you want to share, or anybody else. So when I was having that conversation with the client and we were talking about selling wall art and everything else, I said, the reason, so her reason for selling wall art was, because digitals, you're going to put them in a drawer and never look at them ever again. And I said, as a client, not a photographer, as a client, I don't like that idea, because you're telling me that I'm about to spend £900 on something that I'm not going to use. So I don't like that approach. And my experience personally is that that isn't true. The reason for it is, at home we have 30 albums that are all on film, pictures or photographs that my dad took when I was very little. I wasn't even born, on the first few years of life, and we only have them on film. And I wish I had the digitals. I really wish I had them. I paid for some to be transferred on digitals. So I see the value in that as well. I see them as different tools. So the digitals probably are more of a, Fiona put it there, for the now. That's how the parent is going to share them with family and friends, maybe in the media. That's what they're going to put in their profile picture on Instagram, whatever. But what their baby is going to have 30 years from now are not the digitals, because very likely they'll be lost. If they're there, they might not be able to open them. If they're able to open them, they look like the pictures we used to take with the Nokia phone 28 years ago or something. Right? So the way I see you guys is, you are creating the equivalent of what my dad created for me, which is albums that when I used to spend more time in the UK, I would come back home every 2 years. First thing I would do would be to look at those pictures. And 70 years from now, I hope, when they're gone, I know I'm making myself emotional, they will be even more valuable. So it blows my mind that you don't see this, because the images that you're creating are, in that moment, the digitals, that's immaterial. What you are all creating is that album or the frame or whatever for a baby 30, 40 years from now, 70, when they don't have their parents anymore. That's what they will have. And so the fact that you're telling me that you're scared of selling wall art for £500, that's worth 20,000. It's not worth 500.
Yeah.
And you need to see this, because I see that, and I see you struggle with the small things that are stopping you from having the confidence on going into a conversation with someone to say, this is what we're doing, and I am the best person to help you create those images. That 70 years from now will matter so much. Now you can talk, because I'm
Yeah,
freaking myself out.
My daughter got married recently, and there's a whole backstory to I won't bore you with, but it was a day we thought would never come for her. So it was hugely emotional, very important to the whole family, and the photographer was amazing, and she created a gallery of nearly 1,200 images, digital images, right? Each one of them is gold, absolute gold. I had face ache by the time I got through the gallery on my phone, right? I've done it 7 times on my phone. The whole family keep saving them and putting them in our family group, going, ha ha, look at this one. The joy, those digital images that will never be printed. Not all of them will be printed. There's no way I'm printing 1,200 photographs, right? What I have done is I've picked my daughter's favourite and put it in a frame for her as a wedding gift. I've put 3 of them on my wall in orbs. And I've also picked my favourites and put them in an album. The rest will never, ever see paper in any form. But that doesn't make them any less more valuable to us as a family. We are still talking about the wedding. We're still sharing the photos and loving the photos. But I put them in physical form, because physical form, you can future-proof that. You can't future-proof a digital image, because you don't know what the future technology is gonna be, but you can future-proof a piece of wall art. So I've done that with those. But that perfectly, when Julia said to me about that story about, the digitals, no one's going to look at them. They are, but it also doesn't matter for how long. Because if they matter for 5 minutes, they still matter. You're going to look at them and look at them and look at them. My daughter is actually, the app Freeprints, right? My daughter's printed all of them using Freeprints, right? They're not great quality. She's sticking them in a load of scrapbooks, and then they suddenly become the albums that Julia's talking about, that people are going to pull out of a drawer. So they can be used that way if that's what you choose to do. But you've got years to make those decisions.
That is also, I remember when we were having the other call, Fiona, sorry, you were probably about to say something. When I said, somebody asked, but a client said that they were going to go and print them somewhere for cheap. And I said, it's your job, when you're able to see the things and your role in that session, the way that I explain it, then you can educate people about the tools that they have and what they do. Meaning, if they want to print 30 prints for cheap because they want to do whatever, you don't have to make them feel stupid about it, or be like, absolutely never do that with these digital images. But tell them 60 years from now, they're not going to be there, because they are not built with the quality you need. And so if the one printed artwork that you're printing because you want your baby to have it 60 years from now, you cannot print it at Vistaprint. You have to print it with me, because I am the only one who can ensure the quality you need for it to last. So it's about educating them, knowing your role, understanding that the people who trust you with that session don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. So you need to help them see and educate things. So the people who say they only want digitals, that's what they know. They don't understand the process they're going through the way you do. So it's your job to help them understand, and then explaining what the tools are and what they do for them.
Sorry, Julia.
No,
I think by not extending that explanation, we do our clients a disservice. And our clients are now educated enough. We've got fast fashion, fast jewellery. We know that we have things for good that, and we have things for every day. And that's in essence the difference between digitals and free print prints. They're your everyday ones. They're the ones that the kids go into the box that all your photographs are in and with their sticky fingers and cover them. That's absolutely fine. But the ones that are on the wall, the ones that we print, that, I always say to my clients, anything that I have printed, I'll guarantee it. As long as I'm in business and you don't throw it at your partner, I'll guarantee it. Because I'm confident enough in the labs that I use to know that if there is an issue, they'll help me resolve it. But giving them that confidence to say, absolutely, here's your today ones and here's your tomorrow ones. But we can't blame our clients for not knowing that, because they 9 times out of 10, they haven't been through this process with us. So we then need to take them hand by hand. And if you do it hand in glove with them, you won't have to sell. I'm the same as Maddie. I don't ever sell anything.
No.
I help them to buy what they didn't need, they know they didn't know they needed or wanted.
And this is the same, Nikki, I'm going to answer, if you're still here, we're going to answer your question because it's very interesting. I think this is the same in every industry, mine as well. So imagine if as I was saying, if I was to get paid to do what clients ask me to do without any guidance, that my job is to help them understand what needs to be done. But it's the same if you go and buy a car. Imagine like if my mom went and asked for, I don't know, a pickup truck, and they were like, yeah, okay, fine. You might listen to them, but you need to listen deeper than what they just say, because that might be what they've heard. Do you think most clients, by the way, if you want to ask questions with your voice, just do it. We're not that precious here. Do you think most clients understand the term heirloom? I wouldn't. I know what it means, but I wouldn't want to use that term, because I would like to use words that immediately click and resonate with people.
I use it, but I then explain it. I'll say this is your heirloom. This is the one that gets passed down. You look after it, it's going to last you for generations. This is the one that your family will treasure in the future. So I'm not going, that's an heirloom.
I think for me, it's, if you would naturally use the word heirloom, then by all means use that word. But don't use it because somebody somewhere in a training session has said, let's use, and I can't think of a word that's not a sweary word, fancy language, because the whole foundation of a good business is you being you. So if you say heirloom, by all means use it. But as Maddie says, put an explainer there for somebody that doesn't quite grasp where we're coming from. But if that's a word that's never.
It's like I said, be authentic. Okay, so you can attend 10 different training seminars or courses on marketing, on IPS or anything, and you'll get loads of buzzwords, right, and buzz phrases that are going to make your client guilt tripped into buying something or pressured somehow, and that's what puts people off, right? They think they've got to say these buzzwords and these clever sentences and these clever phrases that are going to steer, and these objections, how to overcome objections. Well, you have this specific saying. If you don't understand the principle of any of that, and if that isn't sitting right with you, you're going to say it in such a way that your client's going to be like, what on earth are you talking about? The people who can use that stuff successfully are the people who are deeply passionate about the fact they believe in it. Right? That's those people. If they believe in it, they can use those buzzwords and those sentences all day long. If you don't even bother trying. Find another way that sits well with you, that you believe in, to get the same result. But don't bother with all those fancy things that work for other people.
You both made a really good point, which is you might, if you're authentic in your marketing, you might attract people who speak that language and that word might resonate with that immediately. I said no because I would probably market or target a slightly different audience, and so I would explain it exactly like I explained it to you with the example of the album or whatever. Using stories for selling and marketing is another huge topic that at some point I hope we will get to discuss. But it's all about the more authentic you can be and the more you can speak your own language, the more you will attract the right people. This is the biggest misunderstanding also when it comes to social media, is that you cannot market yourself. I deeply believe that you cannot market yourself as a brand because you aren't Coca-Cola. So using all of the flashy, polished everything is exactly what causes you to be a maybe for every single client that gets to your social media. So this idea that we need to now generate a huge lot of traffic, creating content 24/7 that looks all the same and it's all very polished and it all says the same words and so on, and that's going to work, is what, in my opinion, is going to drive people crazy, because you become a huge maybe. Maybe the other photographer who is incidentally using exactly the same templates from Canva, so they look the same, the images-ish, and you use scripts for replying to my inquiries. Then what is there left except for the £50? More or less in your pricing? We are going into a direction where the noise of mainstream marketing is taking you all to basically remove yourself from the marketing that you do and create and go into creating content. And the risk is you remove yourself, so you remove the only thing that's actually going to make a difference. Because if people connect with you, they will buy. So it's a very dangerous road, this, in my opinion, that we are, the ability of taking a step back and answer and go through all of the questions that we covered today should hopefully make you think, can I once every 2 weeks write a post on my social media that is a little bit more about me, or written by me, or explains why I sell this thing, why I do some things in a specific way, instead of just being a bland post about what I sell or about this session and that session. Over the long term, this makes a huge difference. A huge difference, because it means that people will know why. You will be able to communicate to them why they should choose you. And to take, even once a month, take a step back from the machine of everyday marketing and do that. And when you speak with people and reply to inquiry, do that. Go into that with the passion that Madhya has, or Fiona, or whatever, and be a human, and they will like you. And if they don't, they're not your clients. That's for sure. I forgot what else there was here to say. I would say as exercises, or practical things that you can take away, or steps that you can take after the call, my recommendation would be to revisit the questions that we asked today. So why should someone choose you? And those of you, again, who wrote just about the experience and everything else, try to go deeper than that. What you love about your job, try to go beyond the technical side of it. And then the third step for me would be the one piece of content a month that you can write where you're more authentic. or go through your homepage, your newborn page, or your reply to inquiry and read it with fresh eyes and be like, is this really me, or is something that I saw on another website, or marketing course told me to put, or SEO told me to put, and it doesn't really say much about me. And if that's the case, you should try and draft it in a different way and be like, is this making sense to me or not? Any suggestions or tips from, or exercises from Maddie and Fiona about this, so that we can make it practical, hopefully?
Yeah, I don't know about anybody else, but I am already sitting here realizing that I could do more on this in terms of website. I'm already decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to, after this call, I'm going straight on my website to my homepage, and I'm not even going to draft it. I'm just going to spout crap. I'm going to spout it from the heart because it's sitting here at the moment. I'm going to spout it, and then I'm going to reread it. Because if I go into notes or whatever and try drafting it, I'm going to start stripping back the passion. I'm going to pare it down too much. I'm going to try and perfect it. I don't want to do that because that's stripping away the authenticity of what I feel. So I'm just going to spout it and correct the grammar, because that's going to be like an instant blur. It's going to be more meaningful, I think, than spending weeks trying to draft something and perfect it.
Yeah. I will say just one thing, that is, it's a warning for everybody. What this is, the reason why I said is long-term marketing, is don't expect that you write that post and you're gonna get 500 likes. That some of you have known me and seen me for long enough, Maddie being one of them, to know that this is how I've been marketing myself forever, from the beginning, since the beginning. And it isn't volume, it's about attracting over time the right people. You all have, thank God, the fast marketing in place, the advertising, the whatever, to generate volume. Take a little time to focus on the other things that will make real difference, because otherwise you risk a year from now or 2 years from now to really just have, already is like this, to really only just have pricing. So pay attention to the rest, put effort into the rest. Fiona?
I think my one piece of advice to take away from today, again, a caveat to this. So we have got so used to trainers, marketers coming on and saying, if you do these 3 steps, you'll get £100,000 business tomorrow and you don't need to put any work in. And because we've heard it so many times, we're like, yay, let's do these 3 things. And these 3 things never work. They can't work because it's absolute BS. But so my advice would be, sit with the 2 questions that Julie has asked us this morning, and fathom, answer the why. Why am I doing this? It might come today. It's come today for Maddie. She's had her own epiphany by the sound of things. She's going to take action on it. If it doesn't come today for you, don't worry. Put it on a post-it note on the wall, sit with it until it will come. And when it comes, take action on that, whether it's changing your website homepage, or whether it's just going on a live on Facebook saying, oh my God, I've just had the most biggest epiphany that I just absolutely love my clients. I just want to let you know. Do what comes for the heart. And that, when you put all the other practical steps, like the taking a photograph, you get your light right, you get your posing right, but if you've no connection with the client, whatever that connection is, the image is still not bob on. What's that third element? It's you. So get the technicals right that everybody can do, anybody can do when they're trained to do them. Bringing the you into it will make all of the difference.
We're going to take 4 or 5 minutes for questions, if there are any. There might be none, because we've been doing here like a deep monologue, but what's a monologue with 3 people?
Chaos.
I want to say
Chaos.
trio log, but that doesn't work.
But if there are any, or anybody wants to put web pages for me or for us to review later, do that, or just put your mic on and say "I," and whatever comes to mind.
Or face the consequences of we three talking nonsense at you again for the next.
Talking nonsense.
You have the power to shut us up right now.
Just right, let's go for it, Maddie. Go.
I will try and find the video that I've shared anyway, the one that made Maddie cry, so that we can all cry again. No, I'm gonna share it. Most of you that have seen it already, but I think it's useful as an example. Actually, should I share? Maybe I should share. Can I do that? Hold on. Feel very old right now. Okay. I'm gonna play this and share it. Then if there aren't questions, we're just gonna say hi and go. The reason why I'm sharing this is because I used it normally. I used to use it as an example of marketing that is authentic. And I'm not saying that because I've done it, because that I didn't even create the video thinking, oh, this is marketing. I just did it. And then I thought, oh, maybe it works. Then I saw Maddie crying and I thought, oh, yeah, it works. Let's see if I can share, first of all. So I need to share the sound of Alan snoring. And this is the video. Password. Right. I'm gonna try and play it. Fiona, say yes or no if you can see it, please.
Yes, we can see.
Yes,
an
okay.
angelic
I'm gonna
child.
play it. It's not Christmas. I still have this version here. So I'll put the other one that I sometimes use an example. Again, this is not to say it's good or bad, but it's the kind, I'm sure Maddie now remembers it after seeing.
Yeah.
So
I'm wondering how many of us are going to go start rummaging through.
It's the kind of stuff that hopefully stays, of marketing that hopefully stays with you. And people remember. It might not be a video, it might be something that you write, but if it's authentic and there's passion in it, people will remember it. And the more you share of that, the more people will connect and understand who you are. So I cannot hear anyone now because something happened when I shared the screen. So anyway, the other example, I try to find it, to share it with you. Please save, all of you save the links. Lennon, I think it was this one. Can somebody put in the chat if you could hear the sound of the video, or tell me? Yes, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna share one more video that I think is brilliant. And then I'll give you the links, and then we're all going to go and have our normal days. Okay.
check if she has a fever. I ask her where the pain is.
I also check his chest. Based on temperature, give the applicable medication.
Sometimes we put on the fan if necessary and then call the doctor.
My mom gives me hot cocoa, hugs and kisses, put me in squeeze me like a bear. My mom can make me feel better with a hug and a kiss. My mom is the best mom in the whole world.
So I hope that was inspiring in terms of marketing. That might not be short term, might not generate 3 inquiries right away, or maybe it will, but it really makes a difference. The link to this is this. So the first one was mine, and this is the second. Vadia, you're crying again.
Who isn't?
It still works.
No, it's not good. Oh, dearie.
Good. That's what I wanted. Okay, so thank you so much for being that. Tamsin, that's why I normally play our workshops, because I make everybody cry in the beginning, and then my job is done. Everything else is easier.
Just a quick one. There was a video years ago, I think made by like an American photographer, of a little girl going through a drawer of images, and it got me into. I can't remember who it was made by. It was years ago now. A little girl in a little dress going through an old chest of drawers for prints, and then having shots of her family. And it was amazing, and I haven't seen it since, and I can't find it. It's a brilliant video. It's a minute long, like that one, and it's awesome. And it makes me cry instantly. It makes me cry.
I think I might know who it is. Is it a wedding photographer called Tim Box Memories?
Oh, I don't know, but it's awesome. It's so good. Oh, I better go, guys. I better go.
She shot weddings with her mum, and then her mum died. And I think that's how she's done like a marketing video. I'll have a look to see if I can find it.
I'm deaf here. I cannot hear what everybody's saying, so I hope that nobody's talking right now. It doesn't sound like it or look like it. Thank you so much for today. Thank you, Fiona, and thank you, Marty, for joining me. It was I really enjoyed this. Oh, there's a link. Is that what you guys were talking about? I don't know why I'm not part of the conversation now. Let me open that link. So, questions, you can find me on Facebook, Maddie's group. Those of you who aren't in there, who join via Facebook, other Facebook, you can subscribe to or join the membership and be in there. And thank you so much for today. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.